The Washington Wizards just made multiple signings as they elevated Tristan Vukcevic from a two-way contract to a standard 3-year, $9 million deal. And to take Tristan Vukcevic's two-way spot, they elevated Leaky Black of the Capital City Go-Go to that two-way contract that Vukcevic was on. He'll be on that two-way for the remainder of the year. Does he stay on that two-way for next season? I'm not entirely sure. Okay, I'm going to be honest. I don't know. The Wizards have multiple draft picks, as we have talked about in the past, how they have multiple second-round draft picks coming up this year. They have 3, I think, in the second round, 3 or 4, something like that. 3 or 4 second-round picks that they can sign one of them to a standard deal. Probably the best one that they have. It'll probably be in that 30 to 40 range, which you see some of those guys that go in that range get signed to standard deals instead of those two-way deals that second-rounders usually do. And then the 2 other ones, gets 2 or 3, whatever they have, get signed to two-way deals, potentially maybe a trade as well on draft night to get another second-round pick down the line to fill up those two-way spots. Who knows? But we do know Tristan Vukcevic, 3-year deal. Go ahead and talk about all the details with that, why he was elevated, and if we're going to see any more other guys get elevated from that two-way contract to a standard deal to finish this season. Welcome back to Wizards Digest. I'm your host, Bryson Akins. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button if you can. We're almost at 100 subs on the channel. That'd be awesome if you guys can help us get that goal. The more you guys hit that sub button, the more these videos get out to Wizards fans out there that want to know more about this team as they look to just be competitive next season with the additions of Trae Young and Anthony Davis, 2 All-Stars on the squad, along with Alex Sarr, who looks like an All-Star in the making as well. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into talking about the signing for Tristan Vukcevic. So as you can see right here, tweeted by Shams Charania, the Washington Wizards are signing two-way center Tristan Vukcevic to a new 3-year, $9 million deal, sources tell ESPN. Team option in his 3rd season. The Wizards and 7-footers agent Jason Rand of Wasserman reached the new contract Saturday. So, look, he signed the deal. It's a 3-year, $9 million deal. The last year is a team option. So for sure going to have him for this season, and then next season, then the last year be like, okay, look, are we going to pick up this option? Are we going to decline and extend, keep you on a cheaper deal because we see some potential in you? Who really knows? All right, like we don't really know what the plan is at all. However, Tristan Vukcevic has been kind of solid in certain aspects of the game. So as you can see here, 12.3 minutes per game off the bench. He's averaging 7.9 points. Not too bad whatsoever. He's only played 35 games this season. He's appeared in 43, though, where he's like on the roster, active, ready to go, not with the G League. And so he only had 7 games left on his two-way contract. But 7.9 points, 2.7 rebounds on 47.8% shooting from the field. Not too bad. I'll take that. His three-point shot, his percentage does have to increase at 27.2%, especially if he wants to be a stretch 5 like he kind of plays like right now. But overall, not bad. He's averaging 0.7 blocks, which is, in the upper percentile a little bit. He's ranked 76 in the NBA for blocks per game. But don't let that fool you at all. I mean, he's not a great defensive player by any means. I'm just going to be honest with you guys, all right? He's not a great defensive player. So we can look at his percentile. It shows he's in the 85 percentile of like blocks per game. Like I said, don't let that fool you whatsoever. When you're a center, when you're 7 foot, you're going to get some blocks considering there's not many other 7-footers in the NBA as well. But he's not like... I think it's really like, okay, like maybe he'll get a lucky block every now and then, every game, but it's not like he's a great defender. He's getting blown by a ton. He doesn't really know how to use his size down low whatsoever. I mean, it just like, that's the biggest thing to me. It looks like he doesn't know how to use his body on defense. On offense, however, he rarely finds a shot he doesn't like. I'm going to go and say that right now. If he has some sort of separation, he's going to shoot the ball. If he has some sort of separation where he thinks he can drive and attack, he's going to drive and attack. Offensively, you can see the talent is there on offense where he can be a good stretch 5 if only he improves his three-point shooting a little bit more. Just that percentage, not knocking down that three-point shot very efficiently. But, it's there. It's clearly there for him. We're like, look, he can be an offensive threat a little bit. He truly can. It's just, I mean, can he, regularly hit that three-point shot a little bit, and can he get much better on defense? Like I said, you can look at the counting stats and it shows he's a good defender, but counting stats can be very, how do I put the word? confusing. All right, they can confuse people because you look at Nikola Jokic, people are like, oh look, he averages like 11 rebounds and a block and a half per game and a steal per game, so he must be a good defensive player. Doesn't mean he is. We watch the games, we notice Nikola Jokic gets blown by a ton. He does, and it's the same with Tristan Vukcevic. He doesn't know how to use his body, doesn't really know how to stay in front of everyone. And down low, I feel like he gets bullied quite often. But because of that 0.7 blocks per game, it can be really stand out and be like, oh look, he actually does average. He's a good defender because of his blocks per game. When really that's not the case. Now I'm going to pull up his shooting stats as well here so we can take a little bit more of that. You can look in the paint. He's dominating. He knows how to use his body in the paint on offense. You can see it right there around the rim. He's taken 82 total attempts right there, and he's knocking it down 77.4% of the time. And then in the paint, 66 attempts, knocking it down 60% of the time. You look at his mid-range shot, could improve a little bit. And the corner three over on the right side, he's knocking it down. The corner three on the left side, he hasn't hit a single one at all this season. He hasn't attempted one, though, so that explains it there. But it's just... the three-point shot's got to improve, okay? It's got to improve. Let's be honest here, okay? There's no getting around it. The above the break three, he's got to improve on that, 27.3%. I'm not asking him to be a 40% three-point shooter. Be a 33% three-point shooter, 34% three-point shooter as a stretch five. I'll take that. I'll take that every day. And so if he can translate what he's doing to the right side of the corner to above the break and then to the left, throwing some corner threes from there, I'll take that from him. It's just above the break, he's got to be better as a three-point shooter. And then we also got this as well. Leaky Black is taking Tristan Vukcevic to a spot. He played in 26 games with the Hornets last season as rookie before joining the Wizards Capital City Go-Go affiliate. So as you can see right there, boom. He's already been on a two-way contract, so this is going to be a second one. He'll have one more next season. So it just kind of raises the question of, is this going to be is he going to get a two-way contract next season? It'd be his last. Is he going to get a standard deal? I don't think Leaky's going to get a standard deal whatsoever, I'll be honest. Because there's some other guys that I think could get that standard deal instead. And speaking of them, let's go and talk about them. The first one I'm going to bring up as his stats get pulled up here, Sharife Cooper. Okay. These past few games, he's looked really solid. So far this season, he's averaging 6.9 points per game and 2.5 assists. 100% take that. And 15.9 minutes per game. He hasn't been too bad at all. 61% true shooting, 53% from the field, 37% from three-point. Not bad at all. Defensively, he's also got to improve quite a bit. Part of that is because of his size. He's only 6 foot tall. I'm 6'1". I'm taller than Leaky Black. Doesn't mean I'm a better player, but that just goes to show you he doesn't really have the size to be a, good, I say good defensive player. He can be athletic. He can, not let people blow by him, but he's not going to be able to contest shots. His wingspan isn't going to be long enough to get in the passing lanes. He's really got to improve upon that. And his turnovers per game right now at 1.8. Definitely got to improve upon that as well. I'll bring up his shooting stats as well. You can look at a shooting chart here as I pull them up. Just waiting for them to come up now. As you can see right here, wrong guy right here. That's Leaky Black. He hasn't attempted any shots. Sorry. Let me pull up Sharife Cooper's stats. That's who I'm going for, okay? Sharife Cooper, as you can see, three-point wise, he's knocking down. 37% from the right corner, 50% from the left corner, 35.7% above the break. So that's wing and top of the key right there. Around the rim, he's finishing quite a bit. 104 attempts around the rim, and he's knocking it down 80% of the time. The mid-range shot is also falling at 44% of the time. Offensively, he's a great talent. It's just defensively, he's got to improve a little bit. Now we go to Jamir Watkins, the other guy that I think could get a standard deal, elevate from two-way. He hasn't played in a lot of games recently, but he's averaging 5.2 points per game right now, 3.6 rebounds, and 18.4 minutes of action. This is where he has the edge over some guys, is his defense. You can make the case he is the second best defensive player on the team, maybe third behind Bilal Coulibaly and Alex Sarr. But, look at it, 0.8 steals per game, 0.5 blocks per game. And if you watch him as well, he's getting deflections a ton. That's the biggest thing I notice with guys on defense. You can be a good defensive player if you're in the passing lanes and getting a ton of deflections, and he gets deflections a ton as it is. It's just efficiency-wise, he's not a great shooter. He isn't. He's got a lot to improve shooting-wise. I can go pull a shooting chart up right now, but he's a good defensive player. He is, and that's what kind of has the edge over some of these other guys that you could potentially get that standard contract. Around the rim, he's finishing 76.9% of his shots there. The three-point shot, he's really struggling. The only one that he's knocking down at a consistent rate is the corner three from the right side. when he's knocking, he's knocked down 40% of those on 33 attempts so far this season. The mid-range shot's fallen down at a good clip as well, even though he doesn't take a lot of mid-rangers at 11. Maybe he should try to take some more to end the season. It's just that three-point shot, it's got to improve. That's the biggest thing for him. The three-point shot has to improve a ton if he wants to make it with this team, because the defense is there. He is a great defensive talent. It's just the offense, he really struggles, okay? And it's the opposite for, the other two guys that we talked about, Tristan Vukcevic, who got that standard deal. He's a good offensive talent, really struggles on defense though, because he doesn't really know how to use his size, in my opinion. And then you also have Sharife Cooper, who I think is just undersized, and that's why you're never really going to see him be a, just average defender. He just doesn't have the size to compete at that end of the court, but his offense is great. He knows how to finish, is a good three-point shooter, can dish the rock as well, needs to limit those turnovers a little bit more. But right now, as I see it, just looking at the stats a little bit and their impact on the court so far, I could see Sharife Cooper getting a standard deal, as they have one more spot because of Cam Whitmore's injury, along with that Tre Young trade where they had to do 2-for-1 to make the money work there. So they had that open roster spot. So I could see one of those guys getting that standard deal. It's just, it really comes down to what you value more. Do you value, defense, which I really like, and that's why I'd give Jamir the deal, or do you value the offensive firepower that Sharife brings? And, maybe that's why you give him that deal. Let me know in the comment section down below, though, what do you guys personally think of the Tristan Vukcevic signing, along with who you think is going to get that next standard contract that's currently on a two-way for the Washington Wizards. That's all I got. See you guys in the next one.